Hi folks, welcome to the first round of this Pauper League. We're going to play first. We've won the die roll, and this is a hand we'll keep. As you can see, we're playing Pauper Domain, and we're going to start here with the Wild Nicodle opening, and we'll go from there. Going to fix our colors, likely get a mountain here and abundant growth, our forest, but we'll start with just the opening play. The opponent's kept 7 cards. So let's begin. I've been enjoying this list a lot in the tournament practice room, so we're stepping it up a bit here for the leagues. I am a little curious to see how the Delver matchup is going to play out, so we might be facing that right now actually. But I imagine during this league we have a decent chance of facing a Delver pilot or two, so whether that's this game or not, we'll have to see. Gitaxian Probe really narrows it down to probably being either Delver. It's almost more likely to be Izzet Fiend if you see a Gitaxian Probe. And it's possible it could also be a Dimir Angler type situation. So here we're going to attack. And, I mean, he could destroy us with a mutagenic growth, but we're gonna risk it. It's pretty clear that if he doesn't have that, he should not block, but give him the chance to do so. He's sitting here declaring blockers. Let me make sure I'm connected. Okay, see if this works. Seems like it will. I'll get the mountain, get in for 2 damage, and then I'll just cast the abundant growth. And we draw a land. So next turn we can, well, let's find out what he is first. But possibly we can bait with either the Lightning Bolt or the Squadron Hawk. We can also bolt and Tribal Flames. This deck is surprisingly more mana efficient than I'm used to seeing. So it looks like he is Delver, so we're getting our wish. We're going to test the mettle of this matchup. It might also be beneficial to get a Plains to make the Nicodle even bigger, but it really depends what he does this turn. If he has an island and he's just going to play it. I don't know if he's double queuing or he's new to his deck, but he's taking a while to do anything. Maybe he has a connection issue. Okay, so he's actually just... Okay, so this is interesting. I have to decide what I want to do. And I think what I want to do actually is bolt the existing Delver, get a Nicodle down, and get a Plains so that our board position is very threatening to him. We know he has a counter spell, and I think that's okay. Let's start with the bolt. Let's see if the bolt resolves. He may Vapor Snag or something, or Spell Pierce. We're not sure. He's playing Gitaxian Probe, so he could be playing a number of other things. Could be playing Force Spike. I mean, I don't know why you would. So we're going to do the same thing we did before. If he casts Force Spike on our second Nicodle, that's actually not too bad. It's not amazing, but... having a pair of 3/3s this early against Delver is quite a good thing. So let's see if this resolves. It does. So this is looking pretty strong for us. I guess he's brainstorming. Oh no, he is casting Vapor Snag. Alright. And now he has a Daze. That is quite a beating here. We are winning on time. And if he misses a third land, we'll be in really good shape. He bottoms both. So, okay, this is sick. We actually get to kill his Delver and play a Nicodle. I don't think we need to play the Aura Gnarlid. Tribal Flames only does 3, but that should be good enough. So his decision to tap really low, I think, kind of screwed him here. He would have been much better off leaving up the counterspell on turn 2 and not being in such a rush to try and use his mana on his turn. That's debatable, but from what we're seeing, that appears to be the case. Okay, so let's attack first. There's a chance he might use another Vapor Snag. He could also just have Snap here. But he's very close to burn range if he takes this 6. Which is one of the things this deck is pretty good at doing, is attacking for a lot of damage. So we know he has that Daze, which kind of limits our options. I think I am just going to force an Aura Gnarlid, and then next turn he's going to be forced to tap for some type of creature or he'll just lose. So that will put us in basically a winning position. Okay, he's dead on board. I'm guessing he's going to Spell Stutter Sprite. Don't think I need to show him that, so do this first. Okay, no, he's just dead on board there. So that was a very convincing Game 1 win, but it's really needed to take advantage of his lack of land drops, and then the fact that he didn't leave up Counterspell and instead decided to try and get us by using some more of his mana and making double Delver. So I've already thought about the sideboarding a bit. Rancor is a card I've been tending to board out of a lot because it's one of the cards that's not really integral to the structure and integrity of our deck, whereas Abundant Growth, Nylea's Presence, these are cards that I'm probably never cutting. They're just the enablers that make the deck work. And then we want to keep a lot of threats against most opponents because removal is very prominent. And then with Delver, they have a lot of counter magic, but once you resolve your guys, it becomes tougher for them to deal with that. So I'm going to bring in all 3 Pyroblasts. And then the 4th option is Electrickery versus Journey to Nowhere. And because we have these Tribal Flames that can kill just about anything a Delver deck can produce, I think we're going to play Electrickery. Now, there's a chance he's bringing in Stormbound Geist, but he didn't see any air from us. So unless he's really familiar with this deck, I'm not sure that he would bring in a Stormbound Geist. And based on what we saw, I'm not sure that this guy is a Delver veteran. I think he's probably trying out the deck, maybe even for the first time. And that's just based on how his clock was... how he was managing his clock versus taking time to make certain decisions and stuff like that. So we're very heavy on red here, but I think that's probably going to be okay. So let's submit. He's also not going to be used to seeing a domain. He's also not going to be used to seeing a domain deck with 4 copies of Muldrifter. So that should be something that works in our favor also. And this is a very keepable hand. We're going to get all of our colors online, and then we're going to have Squadron Hawk available to us and powered up 5/5. So now we need to keep in mind that he's playing Daze. That's something we're going to want to be aware of. This hand does not fare well against the turn 1 Delver, so let's see if that's what he has. Okay, leading on the Probe again. So what did we see out of him? Pretty much all the usual suspects, all the stuff that you would imagine would appear out of Delver, plus Probe, which is sometimes in Delver, but it's not the most popular option. I think it's quite a strong option. So we saw Bone Splitter, Delver, Counterspell, Daze, Vapor Snag, Preordain, Gitaxian Probe. So nothing too out of the ordinary besides Daze, which you don't always see, and Probe, which you don't always see. Bone Splitter you see most of the time. Okay, so what's he got? He's got a Delver. So this is one of the things that I think makes me question how good this matchup is their ability to just have massive amounts of tempo. So here we have 2 copy. Ooh, I kind of like this. I didn't even tell you what this is. I almost like playing Abundant Growth, which baits Spellstutter Sprite and bolting the Delver. But I think I'm just going to go for Nylia's Presence. Because we're not under a ton of pressure yet, and if he wants to counter this, I think that's just kind of weak, unless it's a 2-mana Daze. Okay, so we've got a lot we can do here. He's not flipping, so he's probably hitting land drops, or he's got creatures. So he's going to preordain and leave up a counter. So we're going to be able to kill the Delver. Yep. But it's all a matter of... So I guess what do I bait with? It's one or the other. I mean, Bolt. The problem with Bolt is that it's counter. It's not count. It's Spellstutter Sprite food. So we're gonna try Tribal Flames first, and then he's gonna counter it. I'm gonna try and bolt this, and hopefully there's no Daze. So I think he's waiting, or not waiting, but tanking. Yeah, appears so. Okay, so I'll just go for the bolt now. Maybe he has Daze, which again might make this a little tough, but he doesn't, so Ponder. Okay, so now we are willing to bait out the Abundant Growth on a Spellstutter Sprite and then try and get the Squadron Hawk going. So did he shuffle? He did shuffle. But he's got 5 spells in hand. So do we, but... Alright, is Spellstutter Sprite coming out? It is. Okay. So maybe he's next leveling us, but we do have a second Squadron Hawk, which would not present, but mitigate a counter. Doesn't have a counter, so now we have pretty decent advantage here, though we're missing lands, which is going to be a big problem if he's able to start tempoing us. What I'll probably end up doing next turn, barring any of him tapping out, is just casting the Divination, trying to take this a little bit longer. Okay. Yeah, I mean, we could just start throwing stuff into counter magic. No, I think this is the best option. And I say that because the 2-drops die to Spellstutter Sprite, meaning he can have another Spellstutter Sprite. The 3-drops are very important. As you can see, they're 5/5s right now, and he's just not going to be able to beat that. So the next best thing we can do is use the Divination and try and get our land drops. But we didn't. I'm just going to leave the Squadron Hawk back on defense. No reason to let him ninja that and get another Sprite down. Okay, so 3 cards. I mean, if he's holding Spellstutter Sprite for this long, I think I'm just going to cast the Nylia's Presence. But first I'm going to sack so that I can thin out my deck a little bit before I draw. Yeah, he could be double queuing. That's possible. So yeah, let's cast it. See what we draw. We haven't seen any Pyroblasts yet. Okay, so it is a Spell Stutter Sprite. Alright. That's fine though. We still have all these relevant threats. I mean, it's going to get a little ugly here because I think he might be casting Ninja. But otherwise, yeah, see. I mean, this is Telltale Ninja right here. But I think we might be able to get Rioters. We'll see what happens. His Spell Stutter only counters a 1 mana spell now. And there's a Pyroblast, so I think we're happy with just casting this. And if he counters it, I think I'm just going to try and kill the Ninja instead of save the Rioters. Because then he can Vapor Snag it. But if he doesn't have the Vapor Snag, it's also very good. So maybe I'll just counter it. If he does have the Vapor Snag, it's pretty rough, but he can't counter these forever. He could just have another Daze, which would make either option a moot point. But the Dragon strikes again, otherwise. Okay, so here we are. Not terrible shape. We can double up some Squadron Hawks afterwards. Alright, now he's digging for that Vapor Snag. Bottom, top, so he found it. It's alright, it's just a temporary solution to the bigger problem of us casting 5/5s. Yeah, let's try and resolve this first. I guess there's no reason not to play the land. So this is the kind of annoying stuff I'm talking about, which is their tempo capability. I mean, this is the way that Delver beats you, right? They set you back, and then they hit you with ninjas. They bounce their Spell Stutter sprites. You guys have seen this a million times, and this is the kind of stuff I'm a little concerned about. So I'm definitely not going to block this. We're going to give him another card. Remember that he's getting extra cards, which is bad for us, but it's not the end of the world. It's not something that you should consider this imminent threat that you always need to deal with. Blue decks are going to draw extra cards on you. They're just going to do it over the course of a game. So is this really that much different than him casting Divination? It's different, but it's not game ending. If he hits you a couple times, yeah, it's really bad, but okay, yeah, this is getting rough. So he saw a bunch of cards there. Do we just give him the Spell Stutter Sprite? I think we do the Rioters first. He's going to counter it. Oh, he can do it for 3. Yeah, that was kind of bad, actually. Oh, man. That was a big mistake by me. I wasn't thinking properly. I should have done that in reverse order. That was really bad. So now we have to decide, are we getting hit? Yeah, we just punted this game. We needed to stop this. I have the Electrickery, and I have a lot of flyers, so maybe I still double block and just lose to Vapor Snag. He could also just have another Ninja. That's really bad. Yeah, I put myself in a terrible position there. I didn't factor in the 2 miscreants you just played. I was too busy, mouthing off. Oh, wow. Yeah, we just got 8 alive. I mean, when they have 3 counter spells, basically 3 Spell Stutter sprites, this is our best chance because we have a bunch of flyers. I guess our flyers can also kill Ninja. Yeah, we screwed up. He should have equipped something at some point. I don't think, well, I mean, what? He has a 3-mana counter and a 2-mana counter? I don't think so. Yeah, we're looking pretty bad here. Muldrifter would be a good draw. Maybe I should have gotten a mountain, but I don't think it actually matters. Yeah, it's coming down to the nitty gritty. This is going to be pretty difficult to stop here. Okay, I thought we were going to draw that. I'm just going to play it. He knows we have a Squadron Hawk, so I mean, maybe he counters this, but maybe it's better to Hawk first. Ugh, this is so gross. Yeah, this is what I was worried about. It's probably better to Hawk first because then it leaves in his mind a question of what else I could have. But he decided to counter the Nicodle. Alright, so our hope is to draw Electrickery and him have nothing to do about it. So I'm just going to block the 3-1. We need to buy ourselves some time. We can't really beat Ninja anyway. So, and even if we could block the Sprite, he can get the other one back. So if it's Ninja, I don't think we can win. We're dead. Okay, GG. Yeah, we screwed that up. Having the Rioters on the ground would have been better for us. I think we still leave the boarding like this. I mean, these guys are not very exciting. We could cut 2 of them and just play more removal. I'm actually looking at that and saying to myself, this is probably a good idea. Not a lot of threats, which means he gets to counter a bunch of stuff, but you can see, like, with Spellstutter Sprite, he will counter anything just to get the value, which is it's not a bad idea at all. So I think we can play control a little better. And the great thing is we can also have, like, an opening Nicodle draw that might be good for us. So yeah, I messed up that play. I should have played Squadron Hawk first. He would have countered it. Then I would have had a Rioters and a Hawk on the ground, or on the battlefield. Gonna play first. And now you're gonna see something that I've been meaning to bring up, which is the fact that this deck can sometimes have some terrible mulligans. And this is one of them. So we're going to go ahead and send this back. Hopefully he mulligans as well. And we have a okay keep. We are going to keep this. I think it's definitely better than 5. We do get to scry as well. So anyway, we would have had a Hawk and a Rioters on the battlefield. We would have been able to trade with the Sprite and keep the Ninja from attacking. I don't think he would have. Okay, he kept 7. Tribal Flames. Yeah, I guess we're going to need to top this in case he has another Delver start. Unfortunately, by the time we get to use it, he can probably counter it. Okay. Well, let's see what he ends up doing with that, but we got to cast Nylia's Presence here. We do get a land, that's good. So I think I might just wait here. I don't think there's a reason to give him Spellstutter Sprite. And we might start just using Divinations. I can take 1 for a little while. So he tops both, not too good for us. I'll get a plains with this. It's going to power up Nikotl if somehow this gets messed up. It's going to allow for Skyfish. Maybe I'll get a mountain. Maybe mountain's better. We have 2 red spells, so we might need the double red. Also powers up Nikotl. Okay, so I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to Divination, and then next turn I can double 2-drop. Now I'll get the plains. I'm sure he's just waiting to counter something, so here comes Daze. If this resolves, I'm actually pretty happy. Yep, Daze. Why wouldn't you, Daze? Yep. We haven't seen Spire Golem at all. Pretty interesting. He's really more mana efficient than us. He's cast 3 spells, he's on the board attacking, and we've cast 1 and it got countered. So this is, again, why I'm concerned about this matchup. They're able to do things that are just really annoying. Now, I would like to resolve something here. I'm just not sure what. You know, I'm concerned about a lot of things. I'm concerned about Spellstutter Sprite, and I'm also concerned about Vapor Snag on the Skyfisher. So worst case scenario is I try to Tribal Flames the Fairy Miscreant, and he counters it with Spellstutter Sprite. Then I play Skyfisher, and he just Vapor Snags it, and then I'm sitting here looking like an idiot. So I am going to just lead with Tribal Flames, though, and I'm going to mask the white so that subconsciously he's not thinking about Skyfisher or Journey. So is he just going to Vapor Snag? He's going to Hydroblast. Well, I really don't want to pass, so I'm just going to try another one. And if he uses Spellstutter Sprite, which he is, yeah, this is garbage. I mean, this is such a bad spot to be in. Look how terrible this is right now. Okay. And he has a land. Oh my lord. Alright, well, our hope here is that he counters this. And he does. He's just in a rush to counter this. We have to play. Well, this is okay. If he had Snap, it would be bad, but we have to force a counter on Skyfisher anyway, because we have to do something. And then also, we're trying to resolve this next turn, which is probably not going to happen, but we have to start making moves. He's forced us into a corner that we basically have only a few options of how to handle it. So yeah, I just have to cast this. If it resolves, great, but yeah. He did not hesitate. This is what their deck does, guys. So Squadron Hawk could still save us potentially, but I'm sure he's just sitting on another Spellstutter Sprite. Okay, we have 2. Maybe 1 resolves. Yeah, how horrible is this? And these are just draws that we can't really beat. Again, triple counterspell, Daze, Spellstutter Sprite, and yet we still might pull it out because we got to resolve Squadron Hawk, but we'll see. I mean, I think next he's likely going to ninja us or something, but we're not out of it. He didn't have a counter there, so what's left in his hand? He might be pretty flooded, actually. We're going to block. So, yeah, he might be casting Ninja. And that would be awful. He's snagging his own guy. Okay, that's actually kind of better for us. He's still drawing a card. He must have more copies of Vapor Snag. He's just non-stop here. So he drew the Spire Golem. Yeah, that's a pain in the ass. We're just going to dump everything. I'm a little more interested in resolving these. So I'll do that now because it looks like Daze is probably one of the things he has. So I guess maybe he just has nothing. It's possible he could flood out here. We need an answer to this. So, okay, I'm just going to trade. So the answer would be Tribal Flames. That's basically it. Core Skyfisher can block it. Coral Net. Okay, well, I'm going to have to sacrifice. Don't leave me much choice here, pal. Yeah, I think we're done here. This is everything I feared. I mean, going into this, I was thinking to myself, man, I just really wonder how Delver is going to play out. Now, maybe I invited that into the universe, but it's definitely here, and it's putting a hurting on us. Now, hopefully you get to see a little more of what the deck can do against things that aren't Delver, but if this deck ends up having a bad Delver match, that's just the end. There's no reason to play this deck at that point, because, if you're playing in leagues and stuff, you're just going to face Delver a lot. It's 20-something% of the 5-0 field, or it was. I don't know if it still is. Not a lot we can draw here. Mole Drifter, maybe. Skyfisher, maybe. Yeah, that, I guess protects us from dying. Unless he counters. But, I mean, what's going to happen? There's not a lot that can happen here. When you're at 1, Vapor Snag's lethal. I mean, we don't have life gain. Skyfisher might be our best draw, because that might chain into some stuff. In fact, I would probably Skyfisher. Okay. We're dead. And I'm done talking about this match. So we'll see you for the next match, guys. Thank you very much for watching. Hopefully we can show some better results in these upcoming battles. Hello, boys and girls. We're back for round number 2. We're on the play, and we can keep this hand. It's actually really awkward, but I think we'll try it out. If we draw a Presence or an Abundant Growth, an Abundant Growth, then we are in decent shape here with the Skyfishers. Now, this looks like either Goblins or Burn, possibly. Could also be Is It. Very nice comment by our opponent. It is Goblins. So I think we're going to end up having to sit ourselves a little bit back on tempo, but it's kind of the way it goes here. Yeah, we're going to have to do this. So I guess I'm bouncing the forest, which kind of sucks. We might end up doing that again the following turn also. So hopefully he can't remove this or get around it. cohort. And he burned it. Okay, so not a great start for us. There's a Tribal Flames there. Which might be better than Skyfisher. Yeah, okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna Tribal Flames. Then next turn we're gonna Gnarlid, and then the turn after that, if we miss a land, we can Skyfisher and Rancor. If we don't miss a land, then we can Rancor and maybe Skyfisher the Rancor, I don't know. Yeah, this is bad. What the hell is this? Haste. Okay. There's another Tribal Flames, but we're going to save that for turn 4. So for now, we're going to do this. Definitely not as mana efficient as the opponent, but hopefully he doesn't have another Bolt. Oh, brutal. Taking 9. So Skyfisher into Flames is probably what we want. I think we're dead though. Is there any way we're not dead? 2 blockers is gonna work better. No, we can go to 1. Jeez. Right? This is so tough to figure out. Skyfisher kill any of these guys. He attacks for 7, makes it so Skyfisher can't block. We go to 1. Okay. And in the long run, does it matter what we kill? We kill this because we're going to end up killing the dash guy. We're at 1. If he can't create any other creatures, then maybe we can stay alive. After that, we get a Squadron Hawk and Rancor, but being at 1 is just not a winning proposition. I mean, it's possible he doesn't draw any burn or... I mean, he has all haste creatures, so there's basically nothing that's that can really save us here. We are going to get a lot of removal available to us after board. Okay, it's game 1. But same issue as with the Delver matchup. Mana efficiency, he's monocolor, we're 4-color. It's just a little rough. We're going to cut the same cards we cut before. Oh, we actually have Cop Red. That seems pretty damn good, but so does Hydroblast. Hang on a second here. Definitely want some of those. I'm not against both Cop Reds, Journey. We're not sure if Electrickery is going to be good. We only saw X2s. I actually don't think he's playing a lot of X1s. So it's one of those things where maybe Electrickery is good, but maybe it isn't. It's probably better than Matgo Rioters. Can we win this game off 16 dudes? Maybe. I think we win this game off Cop Red, but I'm going to go 1-1 with these. Let's see how this does. The Cop Red is only as good as our ability to keep down his board presence. So we need to have a lot of removal to begin with. Because we won't have enough mana to use the Cop Red every turn. This hand kind of sucks. I thought it was good at first because we have the Bolt, but we can't do anything else. And that means we're probably going to lose. We have 8 fixers in green, the growths and presences. We have 8 fetch lands, so that's 16 cards that fix our problem. 16 cards seems like a lot. But if we don't hit those, we're absolutely screwed. So I'd rather go to 6. And we can keep this. Cool. And Tribal Flames, probably not what we want. We're going to need, I mean, maybe it is, but we need to get color fixing for this guy. We need to get lands. We need to get card draw. So for now, I'm going to say no to that. Okay, I'm just going to fetch now. We did get our fixing. This gets around any type of 1 damage Death Spark type effect. So this hand looks a lot better for us, but we need to draw a lot of stuff also. I'm kind of interested in making this an X3, but I think I'll just take the block at this point. There's no guarantee that he doesn't have Bolt or Chain Lightning or something. I'm going to use the Tribal Flames off of a Plains. I think that's going to maximize the mana. For next turn, however, we do have another land, so we'll see. Now, if he doesn't have a haste guy, we get a free turn. So that's pretty sweet. He does have a haste guy, but that's okay. I'm actually going to leave up Bolt. I'm going to journey the cohort. And then if he plays a haste guy, I can decide. I can basically just kill the haste guy and kind of time walk him. We need to draw fixing here, and we need, yeah. I mean, that's first and foremost. We need to get blue. Okay, so he's going to dash, heel cutter, I guess. Okay, so before combat, kill this. He's trying to cheat the system here. Okay, perfect. You know, this is a really interesting decision. I think I'm going to go ahead and just evoke. He might Pyroblast it. Okay, that's pretty good. Oh, I have a land drop to make. So it looks like I would have drawn the forest to just cast the Mole Drifter. It's okay. Skyfisher is good too. This is pretty good as well. So I can Hydroblast Skyfisher, bounce a land, and play Rioters. That's pretty sweet. So did I just kill this guy? I can also leave up Hydroblast to kill the inevitable Heel Cutter, so I think that's probably the best option. Then he has no attacks. I think I counter any removal spell too. Or I just kill a guy. Yeah, we just gotta counter this. It sucks as he's baiting for something better, but our board's okay too. We could draw another Mole Drifter. We draw Cop Red would be insane. We're not totally out of this. What is it? Bushwhacker? Yeah, that sucks. So I think I'd rather take 6 and still have a guy left than the other way around. Trading both guys for the extra life. Okay, we can't attack yet. We gotta keep playing D. Heel Cutter is going to be such a beating. Man, this deck was doing so well in testing. It was doing so well. I'm dead serious. We're running people over. Not anymore, folks. Gains haste. Alright, so we're trading with one guy. Okay, never mind. We're trading with 2 guys. This deck's all haste. It's kind of begs the question, like, how do you ever win against it? Maybe I should have attacked there, but I'm pretty sure he's got another haste creature. Yep, and it's game over. Well, we're getting completely spanked in this league. It's looking very ugly for us. Just completely massacred. What have I done? I've made a huge mistake. Alright guys, thanks for watching, and we'll be back for round number 3. Welcome to the O2 bracket, our favorite place. And we're going to keep this hand. This hand looks good. We're on the draw. Opponent's mulligan to 6. Everything's going our way here. It looks like it's affinity, so we're going to get schooled on how to really make big creatures. I think it is... well, I honestly don't know. I can't say I've played this matchup. I don't remember if I have. Certainly haven't recently, so... Okay, he's almost out of cards. He has a decent start, but... Okay, never mind. He's not almost out of cards. So I think I draw off of this. That's a lot of tribal flames, but we want those because... And I think we don't attack. However, he can simply... You know what? I think we attack. He can simply equip this. So I think we actually get in here. We have what might end up being a bunch of removal. Or damage to the face, so I think equipping or attacking is pretty good. If you guys notice, my brain is on autopilot. Not even autopilot. My brain has been like in a blender or something and then poured back into my skull. I don't know what the hell I'm saying. I don't know what I'm thinking. It's just F6. Come on. Needs to get some more sleep, apparently. Alright, so he's on a lot of air, which is good. Except this is an enforcer? No. He's got an enforcer? No, he doesn't. So, a lot of options here. I could kill one of these off and play Nikotl. I think we have enough time to just Divination, though. I'm not saying that's the best option, but I think this might be an opportunity to do that. Okay, that's actually looking pretty good. Scavenging Booze. That sounds familiar. I don't know if I know this guy. So here, I'm just going to Nikotl and Hawk. Looks like he's sitting on Galv Blast. He should crack the star to try and get something going on. Alright, so now we're definitely cooking with gasoline. We have 3 removal spells that are going to be very awesome. Now I got to make sure not to pick up 3 Hawks. I have done that before and screwed myself, so. We already have a domain of 4, so I actually don't need the presence to kill a lot of his creatures. He should have cracked this a while back to try and get a board presence. See if he equips that. I'm going to kill it anyway, but because if we just let it live, he's going to equip on his turn and attack, and we can't block with 2 Hawks. So maybe I'll actually leave up Bolt. That seems okay. Can also offer the trade with Wild Nikotl. So maybe I cast. I have 5 mana, so I can cast Presence and Hawk, or I can just cast 2 Hawks. Let's go ahead and attack with this. We also, you know what? I probably should have just killed this and got it in the air. He's taking it. Alright. So we're going to wait for him to try and equip the Hover Guard, and then we will bolt it. I probably should have killed it straight away, but at the same time, we have 18 points of burn in our hand. So if we just do this, if we just don't die, we can just burn him to the face over the next 2 turns. He's just going to attack now. So we can't survive an ATOG fling no matter what we do. So I think we should just take 2. I can kill this guy with lethal amounts of burn. How disgusting is that? So is that what I'm doing? I can also just burn the Hover Guard and get in for 3, which is kind of the same thing. So maybe I'll do that. That'll kind of mask my intentions a little better. And even if we only get in for 2, it's kind of the same difference. So he's going to Perilous Research or Fling. I hope he flings. He is flinging. Oh, this is great. So maybe he has a second one. Oh, that's fine. That's fine. So let's draw first. Orinarl is a 4/4. That's kind of cool. Alright, so this is what we do. We attack with 2 Hawks. And we get ready to kill him with these 3 Tribal Flames. So drop him to 10. And that probably sounds alarm bells, but what the hell is he going to do? There's nothing he can do about this. So unless he... guess his last card is another fling. But maybe it wasn't. So what do we have to worry about here? You know what? Let's just chump block the Enforcer. Because we're going to win if we don't do that. There's no way we can stop a Tog Fling, so... and he doesn't have it, so... let's just finish him. As Shao Kahn would say. This is my combo here. Hope you like it. So we get game 1. We don't have a lot of cards for this matchup. So basically we have Hydroblast and Journey to Nowhere. I think we're going to want Aura Gnarlid. Bolt is okay because he's got those hover guards, but it's not as good. So I think something like this, we might even cut in a Coddle instead of the Bolt. Let's see here. These are great. 5/5s are great against 4/4s. I don't know if you noticed. Could also cut one Squadron Hawk because the Hawks aren't doing a ton. Maybe Hawk's the worst card. The 4th Squadron Hawk, and we'll just play 3. Yeah, I think that's it. I don't think we want more than 2 Hydroblasts. Pyroblast is interesting because it kills Somber Hover Guard as well, but I just don't think we have enough time to get all that done. This looks good. This looks good. We're going to have a pretty big Aura Gnarlid on our hands, so we'll keep this. His first hand that game was not great. He had a lot of just Springleaf Drum, Flare Husk action that was not exactly action for him. He's keeping 7. He didn't see a big creature till late in the game. This time it's probably going to be a little different. Okay, we're starting with Abundant Growth, and we seem to have a bunch of land, so hopefully that stops. But okay, this is all we need now is removal. If he's missing a land, we're in great shape. However, he might just Galv Blast the Skyfisher. The only thing is if I play Skyfisher now, I screw up my entire possibility of playing anything after that. Which I think means I want to go with the Abundant Growth. The reason I say that is because we're bouncing the Abundant Growth. So I'm going to sacrifice a little bit of life to make this happen. We're also about to make a very large Aura Gnarlid. Okay, so he's cooking with gas here, but that's okay. Jesus. Oh my god. Okay, so we're not alive. What the hell? I mean, there's kind of... jeez. So I guess we make a 4/4 Gnarlid and hope that there's no Galvanic Blast. Wow, this is so bad for us. Or do we Abundant Growth and hope to have Tribal Flames and do it? Yeah, I think it's Aura Gnarlid, guys. Oh, man. How do we get our 5/5 Rioters? Doesn't seem like we can. I can't cast Nylea's Presence this turn. It's just not going to do anything for us. Alright, Aura Gnarlid. Try to block the Enforcer. And then our other creatures can kind of deal with this stuff. Yeah, we just can't beat this hand. It was just too good. He's got Galvanic Blast, so. Yep. Or maybe not. Okay. Still very bad for us. So what do we do? Take 6 or 17. Jesus. I'm not. My head hurts. I don't even know. I don't think there's anything we can do. So, just gonna. I'm gonna cast Natalia's Presence again. Well, now we can make a 4/4 Rioters. No, it's not 4/4. It's 3/3. So that's 7, 8, 9. We go to 2. I could also try and draw Wild Nicottle. So I could Skyfisher, Abundant Growth, draw Wild Nicottle. Or Lightning Bolt. Okay. That seems like a better option. Hydroblast, not good enough. Still not dead, though. So I guess I tap out rather than trying to counter some red spell that may or may not be there. Wow, this sucks. Oh wow, I guess he knew I was dead. No, I'm not dead. I'm just blocking Carapace Forger anyway. I'm going to 2 regardless. That didn't really change anything. But either way, we're not getting out of this. I mean, that was disgusting. We have no Ancient Grudges to speak of. Yeah, I think just leave like this. These decks are very similar, but we don't have the potential to explode like that. Yeah, we can keep this. This doesn't look too bad. He's got to face a 3/3 basically immediately, so that's actually pretty good for us. These opening hands are kind of awkward. I mean, if you look, Aura Gnarlid doesn't do anything with Muldrifter. So now I'm actually going to attack for 2 instead of 3 and get Squadron Hawk. That seems good. The 1 point of damage, I can't imagine it being more important than the tempo. The tempo is very important. Boom, boom. Yes. Okay, that's it. I only I boarded out 1, so whether he realizes that or not, he's going to kill the Wild Nicottle. He missed the land. So I think we just attack an Aura Gnarlid. Wow, we may have just lucked out here. And we know we can Presence and then Hawk, so that's pretty good. Okay, he's got a little bit of insurance, but that's not going to... Well, he could Galv Blast here, which would be pretty good. Okay, so now everyone's all big and disgusting. And we attack. So he could chump block the Nicottle and Galv Blast the Aura Gnarlet. That would be pretty good. Or he could not block. He just... I guess he doesn't want to block. He needs to enable his color fixing. That makes sense. Still taking some damage, and there's a board that you're going to have to deal with, buddy. Alright, no. Thought cast. Nope. Okay. Alright, you might be getting there. Another thought cast. Frog mites, frog mites, frog mites. Nope, he's just gonna discard. But he's got a lot of spells. He's just behind on tempo, which I think he's gonna stay behind. So we definitely attack with everything. I think we actually play Skyfisher and then replay Presence as opposed to playing Squadron Hawk. Because if we Skyfisher, we don't want to bounce a land. We also don't... Well, if I get a mountain... No, then I can't cast Small Drifter. Yeah, I think we just put a little less pressure down. I don't want everything to be a... This would be a 2-2 though. So it wouldn't be that bad. So I can get an island, Skyfisher... Bounce the Presence and play Squadron Hawk. Yeah, that's actually fine. That seems like the superior play. So the Nikado's a little bit smaller, but probably not going to matter anyway because he's probably making 4/4s on the ground. Yeah. Is this a Tog? Forger? What is this? What is the meaning of this? Mirror Enforcer. Okay, so he's dropping to 1. If I have a burn spell, he's dying. I don't have a burn spell. So I can drop him to either 1 or 2 here. Sorry, that's not at all correct. Alright, first of all, a Tog Fling. What is it? What are we looking like? 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, 13, 15. You can do it for 15. And I have 2 blockers. I'm going to attack with everything in the air. Try to win this game. Whatever he does, I mean, kind of don't care. Okay, he's at 3. So now I'm going to play Mole Drifter. There's a Tribal Flames. So that'll do it if we live. I mean, I'm willing to block with just about everything here. Okay, so he's very unlikely to fling us now. He also... Okay, so now he can fling us. Because I was going to say, he can't get us to 15. Alright, he's dead, I think. Armadillo Cloak, what the fuck? Okay, so he's not dead. We can't even kill that! Holy shit! Holy shit! Dude! What the fuck? Sorry guys, I apologize for the language. That's, you know, not common. Oh wait, can we kill him with... Oh, we can kill him with Tribal Flames. He's gonna burn a flyer though. Don't do it. We got him. Okay. Jeez, that was close. Sorry, I apologize for the language, guys. That's not appropriate at all. So Tribal Flame strikes again here. Just make sure we tap properly. So I'll get this back forest, and I'll tap these two front forests. And that should do it. So that was close. Very close match. And we did pull it out, so there is a chance for us to once again run the table and sweep the rest of the games. Not sure that we'll do it, but we're going to give it a shot. And looks like we got there. Alright guys, there's one for the good guys. Again, apologies for the outburst, but we'll see it for round number 4. Round number 4. We won the die roll. We're playing first, keeping this in a heartbeat. And we're going to lead on Abundant Growth. And figure out what the opponent's doing and go from there. Bunch of lands, but we're going to be able to cycle a bunch with Core Skyfisher, which I think we're playing next. Unfortunately, if this is blue-black control, it's not going to be too pretty for us. But we do want to get out there and get on the board, start getting some value. Our colors are a little screwed up here, but okay, so he's a little behind. Squadron Hawk's cool. I guess we cast Abundant Growth because there's a chance we could get an untapped land or a Wild Nacatl. We get another Squadron Hawk. That's pretty awful. So that made it a little worse than sacking the Terramorphic Expanse first. But I don't think sacking the Terramorphic Expanse reduces our chances. Okay, so this is Dimir Angler, it looks like. So that's, I find just mentally that I think this is going to be an easier matchup than a straight Dimir control deck. Now, I'm just presuming that's what this is. We could be wrong, but going to get a Plains. And he's just sitting on counter magic, so we're going to start doing some things with Nylea's Presence and going from there. Most likely. Now we have Rioters. And that would line up pretty well with our mana, but the problem is I'm just really not interested in getting that countered, walking into it. Okay, so nothing else we can do here. That's alright. Another Brainstorm, or maybe a Thought Scour or a Mental Note. Another Brainstorm. Okay, so he's going to have a pretty high degree of hand sculpting working to, for working out in his favor. Yep. So looks like he's going to have Angler with counter backup. So we're going to want to bait some things out if possible. Ponder. Yeah, he's going to be able to ponder, make an Angler. We do have Tribal Flames, which can kill those. Did he shuffle? He didn't. So that's no good. He's not going to cast Angler. Alright. So now we get to make a double Squadron Hawk play. Or we get to go Squadron Hawk, Matt Go Rioters. That's also pretty good. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I don't think they have Force Spike or Gut or Daze or anything like that. Oh, it just resolves. Isn't that interesting? Well, I don't know what to make of that. I think I'm actually just going to play another Squadron Hawk in a tapped land. Now maybe he's got Echoing Decay. That's possible. Right now, man, we're on the board. We're just kicking ass. Okay, maybe he does have Echoing Decay. We're doing everything we want to be doing. Okay, he ends up killing the Skyfisher, but we have Hawks to soak up any Edict effects. So yeah, we're liking our position. I'm curious why he wouldn't counter the Squadron Hawk though. That to me is curious. He must have some way of dealing with them. So he didn't shuffle that either. He must have an angler now. Wow. What is he doing? He has no creature threats at all. And now he doesn't even have counter magic. I mean, maybe he's playing Essence Scatter or Mana Leak. No. Alright, so I'm just going to make my Rioters. That's going to be fun. He shuffles this time. So did he finally get a Delve creature? He must have. Come on. Nothing. Wow, I'm startled by this. I really am. Alright. And we have a Mole Drifter, but I think it's probably better to make some more guys. And one of those is going to be the Rioters. Yeah, let's just do that first. Pretty simple. I mean, he's got to have something going on. Maybe it's Echoing Decay and an Edict effect, but barring that, this is probably the best play we could have made that turn, so I'm just lost. If he has no creatures, Gush, maybe? Eldrazi Sky Spawner, okay. And that's it. So I'm fine going with the Lightning Bolt. If he counters that, we have a Mole Drifter. That seems pretty good. That resolves, so let's attack and see what he's going to do. He's going to chump block, I think. Oh. It is Echoing Decay. And he's got counter magic up still. So we want to try and soak up an Edict effect. Draw a card, maybe find a Nicodle. He might have 2 Edicts at this point. He's gone through half of his deck and we don't see a single Delve guy. We know he's playing Delve creatures though. Okay, that resolves. It's possible I should have saved the bolt for Echoing Decay. That certainly is possible. It was pretty clear that he wasn't concerned at all about Squadron Hawk, so the only reason that would be is if he had the Decay. Alright, well, we know what's going to happen. It's pretty obvious at this point. Gurmag Angler. With 2 counters backing it up. Yep, that's scary. So if I draw 3 drop next turn, I can play both. I can play Muldrifter and the 3 drop. Oh, he's got another one. Okay, so he's got only 1 counter backing him up. I think we kind of have to attack into this. It's a 3/3. That's interesting. I think we start with the Bolt. That seems like a strong play, because any type of Disfigure or Agony Warp will keep us from being able to attack into that. Okay, so he counters it. Wow, he doesn't counter it. He still could have a Disfigure. Oh man, if it's Disfigure, we're just so screwed. Because he has Disfigure and a counter. Kind of makes sense that it would be a Disfigure. We haven't seen any other removal from him. Wow, this is a really scared play to make, but I think I'm going to make it. Yeah, we've not seen anything. He has to have something here. And we know he's got counters, so I'm just not even going to play the Muldrifter out. I'm going to wait till I can maybe have a better shot. Okay, he draws 2. I mean, he's seeing so many cards. This is disgusting. I'm putting him on Disfigure and Counterspell. I mean, we haven't seen Counterspells at all, so... And his decision to not counter the Lightning Bolt, to me, kind of screams something's wrong. Okay, so I'm going to start here. He might have 2 counters. I think that's highly likely. But we're going to at least force him to do something. And I think we'd rather have the Muldrifter resolve. Him waiting this long kind of sounds like he doesn't have a counter, but I'm really not sure. I think after board we want to cut Rancors and maybe Gnarlids and add Pyroblasts and Journey. Relics maybe hamper the AK, but they don't seem to be doing anything else, so I don't think we want Relics. He's in the tank, let me make sure. Oh, I guess he's not in the tank anymore. Counter spell. Okay, if he has a second, maybe he's just really selling that, but if he had a second one, I don't think it would be that much of an issue to try and counter the Tribal Flames. Yeah, if you have 2 counters, oh, I see. So this makes it so he can't Disfigure. So now I am going to attack. I've been willing to trade since he resolved the Angler. I just didn't want to run into that Disfigure, so he actually takes the damage. So that implies that he's trying to race or kill me, or that he definitely has the Disfigure waiting. Or he's got another Angler and the Disfigure. I mean, I don't know that we can beat that. What the hell? Ghastly Demise, okay. And a Delver of Secrets. 2 cards left. Now 4 cards, jeez. Guys, always draw first. If you have a draw 3, alright, we're pretty much effed. We're basically trying to hit another Muldrifter, or we're trying to hit a Lucky Tribal Flames. If you're going to draw 3 cards that turn, draw them. and then you can decide what you want to do for the rest of the turn. You want the information before you make the decision. You wouldn't buy a car and then look up stats for different cars and go to different dealerships. You would do it in the other order. Okay, he's got deep analysis. He's got so many cards, man. And he's dealing 11, so there's very little chance of us getting out of this. You wouldn't take a test and then have the study session. So this has to resolve, otherwise I lose. He knows it, I know it, but it is a 6/6. Okay, so does he have... All he needs is a removal spell, disfigure. Alright. Oh. Yeah. So that's game. Let's get to the sideboarding. That was tough. It wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. So the reason we cut the Gnarlids is because we're cutting Rancor, which might end up just leaving the deck. I don't really know. We don't seem to ever keep it after game 1. And the lack of the enchantment makes the Aura Gnarlid also pretty bad. Now, it's one of the creatures that can get bigger than Angler and get through blockers. But I don't know if that's that important. I think we're just going to hopefully kill his Anglers and burn him out and counter his counters. That's my plan. It's not a great plan, but hey, it worked. It's worked in the past. So slow hand, but I think we're going to keep. This is one of the things that you have to kind of live with sometimes when you're playing 8 fetches. This is just something that happens. Alright, I'm going to burn this. We really don't want to be facing down tempo with a hand like this. Okay. Getting a... Well, I'm not sure. If he taps out, I'm probably getting a Plains. But otherwise I'll get a Forest. So I guess I'm getting a Plains. So I can make Squadron Hawk. Okay. So both of us kind of slow, but I like our position more at the moment. Next turn I get a Nikado as a 3/3 and Squadron Hawk. If he has a fast Angler, though, we don't have anything to do against that. So that might be a problem. Okay, he got a blue source. So he might not have an untapped black source yet. Now this is kind of a weird game where we actually held off getting green for quite a while. And that's not something we would normally do. We'd normally want to fix our colors by first getting green and then casting one of these. Alright, so he's still leaving up that counter spell. So I might not even play the Nikado. I'm not sure. So now I can growth as well. That's interesting. We might play that next turn. But let's see if he wants to counter this. He does not. Wait, did he shuffle? He chose to not shuffle. Well, we've got a lot of things that we're going to want to do over the next couple turns, so I'm just going to go ahead and use our mana. He's probably countering it, but that's fine. Oh, deprive, even better. Slow him down that much more. So he has a black source now. Going to attack. Looks like he may be setting us up for another echoing. So I think I'm cool just chilling on the 2 Hawks. Which means I guess I'm going with Nylia's Presence now. And we'll just throw this to the wolves. We're about to cast a Mull Drifter, so it's fine that he counters this. And we'll bring back the Abundant Growth. Now we'll play our land. He did not counter it, so he's going to start killing stuff. Or not. So he seems a little bit behind at this point in time. Unless he's going to go for the Sultai Scavenger. Delver, okay. Nothing else. Very interesting. I'm going to get an island. Nothing else. So he's definitely sitting on Echoing Decay. I don't know why we would ever doubt that. I'm going to start here. I think I paid green. Okay, there we go. That was a little concerning. And now we've got a lot of burn on our hands. That's 11 points. So let's see what happens. Yeah, let's just threaten to burn the Delver at this point. You know what? We don't actually have to do that. Should I go for a 3rd Hawk? Yeah, let's do that because we can burn our own Squadron Hawk. Which is still a 2-for-1, but it's not a 3-for-1. And then on his turn, we can start going with bolts. He's going for it. Or not. So I may want to bolt his guy on his upkeep. Kind of depends. He's tapped out now. I'm just going to... Hang on. I'm going to turn off auto yields. So I'm going to let him brainstorm. Then I'm going to burn this. That seems like the ideal way to go. Kiss that goodbye. Yeah, our position's pretty good. He only has 1 black, so if he wants to Echoing Decay, he doesn't want to. Okay. So we're probably just burning this too. Actually, yeah, I think so. I know we could potentially be better off stopping an Echoing Decay or burning his face, but we're going to be using our mana here, and in a big way. So he's going down to 8, and we're going to play Rioters and Squadron Hawk. Yeah, I guess so. I think he has another Echoing Decay, but then he has to use it and not use the Delve guy if he doesn't have a swamp. So we're just not playing around it at all. And I don't want to Tribal Flames this turn because we may want to use it for something else. It's hard to say. So this is game 2, right? This is not game 3. This might be game 3. No, this is game 2. Pretty sure. Pretty sure this is game 2. And look at this board. This board is so good. He's just look at all this. I mean, it's just nothingness. He's just spending mana to time walk himself. Okay, so he may have Hydroblast, but I still think we're gonna chance it. Might as well go for the victory. Yep. Okay, so that's game 2. That did not go so hot for him. He was just kind of lagging the whole time, lagging behind. I think we keep everything as is. Game 1 was kind of like that for him also, where he did not have a creature forever. So I think we have a decent shot this game 3. Let's find out. We're going to be on the draw. We have the Nihilist Presence, which is, I think, the only thing that makes this keepable. I highly doubt he would counter that, so we'll play the Forest. I need to make it look like I'm not at all color screwed. If I play the Swamp first, it makes things look kind of weird. Alright, so this is almost certain to resolve, which basically saves our butts. So do I want to play another Forest or play the Swamp? We don't actually do anything with the Swamp, so I think I do play the Swamp and enchant it. Maybe I enchant the Forest, I'm not sure. Oh, you guys like 5/5s on turn 3? That might be something we're interested in. We could also just divination, which looks like what we're going to do. Play the island, make it look like we have absolutely no problems in life. We're going to have to discard unless he counters it. It's either going to be a land or a bolt, I think, depending on what we draw. We drew a Presence and a Rioters, so I think maybe we just get rid of the Presence. Mental note. Yeah, let's just get rid of the Presence. I don't think he's gonna... Or the Bolt. Let's get rid of the Bolt. There is a chance he has Spreading Seas and he severely screws up our color. That would basically end the game for us, so I'd rather go this route. Okay. Alright. So he doesn't have a counter here. At least we don't think he does. So I think that means we just play a Matgo Riders, develop our mana. I'm getting definitely a Mountain. Resolves. He probably has Demise, but yeah, he does. Okay. So that's pretty easy for him. He does not care about Matgo Riders at all. So this means if he plays an Angler, we have 2 shots at killing it right away by getting that Mountain. So this is going to flip. Echoing Decay. Fortunately, there's nothing in our hand that's hurt by that. Looks like he's only going to have 1 counter around. I kind of still want to kill this damn thing, but there's so many plays we could make. Shoot. We know he can Echoing Decay anything we play, so I think we just give him the Rioters. I shouldn't have played the land. That was a mistake. He's going to counter it anyway. Okay, good. Okay. Get that out of the way. Get that counter spell out of the way, I'm saying. So, okay, we know one of his soon-to-be 4 cards. Yep. So he has 2 cards left. So let's start with the Skyfisher now that we have 6 mana. Okay, he's fine with that. Let's now go here. The one thing is if he counters this... Okay, I think the coast is clear. I am going to just try and kill it. Could be the case that the coast is not clear, but it seems like it is based on how he was responding, so... Which also means I'm going to want to play Muldrifter next. I should not have enchanted that, but I do have a second one. Wow, he's got another... Okay. Well, he must have just drawn that. It is interesting. We may want to cast 2 Nicodles, but I think we want to just get this resolved. He can kill it. We draw a Pyroblast. That's pretty good. Alright. This is not looking too bad. I'm just going to go ahead and get a Plains. So in case he blows up Nylea's Presence, still have a 3/3 that doesn't die to his Echoing Decay. So it's looking like we might... He's at 20. Looks like we might be able to pull ahead here. It really depends how many other anglers he can make. I'm just going to take the damage. We're going to eventually need some blockers, but let's see what he does. We know he's playing Sky Spawner too. That's annoying. I want to be able to counter that. Okay, we know Decay is one of the cards. Okay, Scavenger's a problem too. We have these Nicodles on the ground though. That's pretty great. Alright, let's do this first just to see what we draw. These Nicodles on the ground might be the way we get there. And we have a Bolt. So I guess I just bolt the Scavenger, get in for 7, and play 2 Nicodles. I'm going to lose my ability to Pyroblast though. So maybe I just play 1 Nicodle. He's going to decay the Muldrifter, I think. Because I need to leave up this Pyroblast. That just needs to happen. We got to be able to counter a Muldrifter or a Sky Spawner that's coming up. Yeah, that's fine. Because that'll really put a wrench in our game. He just stopped himself from drawing 2 blanks, though. That's pretty impressive. Okay, so he's going to continue racing. Which means I'm going to have to be kind of careful in how I start to attack and block. Shrivel. Oh, God. Okay, so he's going to kill my Nicodles. Yep. And I'm going to counter that. Actually, I can untap and see if I want to. Man, we're at 7 here. We're really cutting this close. I think we have to just do this. Try and make it happen. We have some live draws. Tribal Flames, Journey to Nowhere. I'm just going to leave this in hand for now. I don't think he can punish us. Wow, so draw 2? That's pretty good. Man, this is so close. It's just like Affinity. Every match has been way too close. I'm going to 2, so... We'll have to do every single permutation of what he could have. He is attacking. I'm going to go to 2. I'm going to cast Abundant Growth on the swamp. So we may need a bunch of green, but we're not going to need black. And that's Squadron Hawk. So I need to see if this is going to resolve first before I do anything else. It does resolve. So now we have to decide, am I playing around Echoing Decay? And I think I am. So I'm only going to attack for 5 damage. Because I think this puts us in a very good spot here. And I don't mean I'm playing around Echoing Decay in the sense that I'm going to not play out Squadron Hawks. I just mean that I'm going to leave an extra blocker back. This should probably put him away. I mean, he could have Shrivel and a removal spell. We can't really play around that, so he has Brainstorm, but he's only going to be able to keep 1 card, so maybe he can do it. Wow, he's going fast. AK for 3 cards. Did he get there? So I guess I should have left back Core Skyfisher. Thought Scour. It's close. Close, man. Close game. 4 life to 2 life. He's attacking now, so there's basically no way. He's just waiting to see if we're going to block. Yep, we got him. That was even closer than the last match. So think about that. Pretty intense. We're now 2-2, so we're either going to go 2-3 or 3-2. You have to wait and see to find out because I don't know. Hasn't happened yet. But we're basically in the same spot we were last week or last time with Matron Control, and that's very interesting. But anyway, I'm rambling. We will see you guys for the final match. And now for the startling conclusion. We've won the die roll again. We're going to keep, and we have a very tough hand to decide whether or not we want to mulligan. The reason I think I am going to mulligan is the fact that without a Plains or a Mountain, this Nacatl is just going to be a terrible opening threat. So I think we do have to mulligan this. And this is definitely keepable. We're going to scry away any land. Or a Gnarlid. Also not great here. It is a threat, however. But we're on the play and we're going to fetch. So it doesn't actually matter if I keep it or not. So we can just go ahead and forget that ever happened. That decision-making process. We can just forget about that. Looks like it might end up being mono black control. I've faced this deck I think once or twice before and I feel like I won. Or rather I should say I remember winning. And I can't remember how difficult it was. It seemed pretty winnable, but again, small sample size, we have no idea. Yeah, it looks like mono black. Cool. And I'm just going to play a second Hawk. I'm not going to do any lame stuff bouncing the Core Skyfisher. Bouncing the Squadron Hawk with the Skyfisher. It just sets us up to eat an Edict effect, where otherwise we'd be in pretty decent shape here. Next turn I am going to make a 4-4 Rioters. That should be pretty good. And if he's doing stuff like that, it means he has a lot of removal, but it's also quite good for us. Okay, so if this is Rats, I'm actually going to shuffle away a Hawk. That way I get a fresh draw and it doesn't really cost us anything. Now one thing that could end up happening this next turn is that he uses a removal spell and an Edict, but we're not going to play around that. I'm just going to go ahead and make this happen. I think it's for the best. Let's go ahead and attack. And I mean, he could just have another Victim of Night, and that would kill it also. So I'm gonna do it like this. Oubliette, that'll do it as well. Still in pretty good shape. We get to Abundant Growth if we miss a land, Core Skyfisher and Squadron Hawk. He missed a land. We could also double Skyfisher. I think we don't want to set ourselves that far back. So I'll growth the islands. We have the least amount of blue sources. We could also kill the rats. I think I want to do this instead. I could also bounce the growth. That actually seems pretty good. So I'm going to do that. Seems like it presents a board position that's going to be a little tough for him to deal with. If he attacks, it really presents a conundrum because he might have an Okiba Gang Shinobi here. What if I double block? He could have 2 Disfigures. He could have Echoing Decay. I think I'm just going to take it. It really looks like Shinobi, but to pull that off, he'd really have to be bluffing pretty hard. Right? Because if we take the block, it just ruins everything for him. Okay, so what do we do here? I'm going to draw first. Yeah, we can draw, we can play Hawk and leave up Bolt. So that's pretty good. That makes sense. We have 2 bolts now, so we can just kill his whole board. I don't feel like I need to do that at the moment. Get the Hawk back. Thanks to his chittering rats. And we're looking pretty good. I am going to bolt one of these critters because we're very aware that Gray Merchant could turn all of this around for him. Sure. Can I kill him? This is 10 points. Yeah, he's dead. This does 4, yeah. Okay. We'll just kill him. So that's good for us. He missed 1 too many land drops there. So let's start going to town here. This has got to be enough. Yeah. Could Rancor too. I mean, the only thing we're playing around is Spinning Darkness. 4, 7, 9, 10, 11. Alright, Spinning Darkness kills us regardless, so I'm just going to go ahead and try for the kill. And not show him Rancor. I think showing him Rancor is a mistake. Boom! And I haven't seen Spinning Darkness in years, I gotta be honest. Alright. So I don't think we actually really changed much. We could bring in 1 relic and a journey for some other stuff. I don't want to cut creatures. Yeah, that seems fine actually. I don't even know that we want to cut. We want to play relic. That just doesn't do a lot. So let's just bring in 1 journey. And I liked how that game went. He did miss some lands, but we have a lot of threats that are serious business. So, man, this hand is just shy of being good enough. It's too many forests. So we're going to have to mulligan. It's just too weak. It's too anemic. And this hand's almost identical, and this hand's much better. I think we will keep. We want the threats. We're going to get to play the threats. So let's do it. He's going to kill it. Okay, that's not too bad. So we can't really get around Echoing Decay. I'm just going to have to hope for the best here. We actually have a great start if he doesn't have Echoing Decay. We can't attack into this yet, but next turn is just a turn away there. So if he just plays like a Rats or something. Yeah, this is actually pretty good. I think I'm going to change things up. I'm going to Tribal Flames the Witch, Abundant Growth, and kind of go from there. Nali's Presence also not too bad, but I mean it's the same difference, right? This way we get a great attack in and we can play Rioters next turn. We could play Rioters this turn, but he can double block what we're doing right now. I think it's better, and now that we've seen that we're drawing, that we're going to play Hawk, we definitely want to kill the Witch. So I think we're in a pretty good spot here. He's down to 13. Okay. Clears the way for a Rioter. If he leaves Rager back, it's Disfigure representing Central. I have a Bolt, though. Why don't I just Bolt it and Squadron Hawk? Or I can... I mean, the only thing is maybe he has Undying Evil. I'm not going to play around that. I'm going to play around Disfigure. That seems more likely. So I'd rather get in for the 3. Yep, cool. Again, we're taking a different path that doesn't involve getting the Rioters yet, but they're definitely coming. So just wait. Just you wait. Grey Merchant will be interesting. So was a Disfigure, obviously. He just fired it off. He's probably going to Edict us now. We'll see. 4 mana. Pestilence. Gurmag Angler. Oh, interesting choice. So I guess it's time to build up this Rioters. And next turn we get to Presence and Squadron Hawk, which makes the Rioters big enough. Who knows? We may even draw into Tribal Flames. Okay, he's not quite at Grey Merchant, so we have an opportunity to maybe draw that Tribal Flames, drop him to 1. That would be pretty sick. Oh, man. So Tribal Flames just kills him outright. So does Lightning Bolt. I'm going to draw a card anyway. And the reason I'm doing that is if he blocks the Angler, or sorry, if he blocks with the Angler, which he has to, they now trade. Alright, so I think he's dead. Just going to go for the win. And that was a pretty convincing pair of games. We also have gone 3-2 with this Domain deck, which I love. I love that we were at such a disadvantage, lost the first 2 matches. We're able to sweep, run the table, reverse sweep, if you will, and we break even. So that's a great moral victory. It's also a good sign for this deck. This is a deck, like I said, I played it a lot in tournament practice leading up to this. The inspiration was the fact that Curd Ape is going to be legal in Pauper online for the very first time now, thanks to Eternal Masters. So it started making me think about Zoo, started making me think about Wild Nicodle, and of course this Domain deck. Really great to see such a strong result. We did have very close matches in round 3 and 4, which is something to look at. This deck does have some issues. It's a 4-color deck that plays a number of 3-drop and 2-drop threats. So the mana efficiency is not 100% optimal, though I do think it has a lot of cool things going for it. And I think this is showing some promise for the future. So I want to thank you very much for tuning in to this installment of... That's right, Dime a Dozen.